every success, every single victory, every moment of glory we admire in successful people. What if I told you that all of this is often just the tip of the iceberg, that beneath it lie countless defeats, setbacks, and moments of doubt? Teased like a majestic iceberg, we only see the glittering tip protruding from the water, but the far larger part, the foundation, remains invisible beneath the surface. This foundation consists of hard work, disappointments, and yes, precisely, defeats. They say that behind every great personality lies a series of lost battles. But wait a minute, if that's the case, why isn't everyone who loses automatically a winner too? That's a crucial question, because if losing alone led to winning, the world would be full of champions. So, what exactly distinguishes the losers who get stuck in the valley of disappointment from the real winners who emerge stronger from every defeat? And more importantly, how can you apply these lessons, these mechanisms of success, to your life? How can you learn not just to fall, but to get up again and again, wiser and more determined than before? If this fascinates you, if you want to uncover the secrets behind true resilience and the unstoppable drive for success, then definitely stay tuned. And hey, if you like what you hear, if this content provides you with value, then show us with a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more such in-depth analyses and motivating content. So, now let's get started and dive deep into the psychology of success. Let's take an absolute legend, for example, Michael Jordan. His name is synonymous with success, with dominance in basketball. Hard to believe, but as a student, he was not accepted into his high school's varsity team. The reason? He was considered too small and, believe it or not talented enough. Imagine that. For a young person with great athletic ambitions, that must have been a slap in the face. This rejection could have meant the end of his basketball dreams. He could have said, "Okay, the experts are right, I'm not good enough." But what did Jordan do? He didn't let it get him down. On the contrary, this rejection became his greatest motivation, the fire that drove him to the gym day after day. He trained harder, longer, and more intensively than anyone else. He used this pain, this disappointment, as fuel. We all know the result. One of the most legendary sports careers of all time, countless championships, and a legacy that remains unmatched to this day. You see, every rejection, every defeat, every missed shot can be a reason to quit. It can drown you in self-doubt, or it can be the spark that drives you to work even harder, to analyze your weaknesses, and to perfect your skills. The decision is solely up to you. For Michael Jordan, the matter was pretty clear, wasn't it? He didn't see defeat as an endpoint, but as feedback, as information about where he still needed to improve. Or let's think of another icon of our time, someone who repeatedly redefines the limits of what's possible. Elon Musk. His ambitious companies, SpaceX and Tesla, were on the verge of bankruptcy multiple times, and that's no exaggeration. The early rocket launches from SpaceX, a series of spectacular failures that not only cost millions of dollars, but were also heavily criticized publicly. Tesla, massive production problems, supply bottlenecks, doubts about the feasibility of his visions. There were moments when everything was truly at stake. The pressure must have been immense. Yet Musk didn't give up. He and his teams meticulously analyzed every mistake, every setback. They learned from the data, adjusted their strategies, iterated, and optimized relentlessly. And so, he eventually led both companies to groundbreaking, world-changing success. SpaceX is revolutionizing space travel, Tesla the automotive market. This would have been unthinkable without the willingness to learn from mistakes and to keep going despite setbacks. The unwavering belief in oneself and one's own abilities, coupled with tireless, almost obsessive hard work, that's an unbeatable combination. But it's more than just belief and hard work. It's also the ability to be brutally honest with oneself when things go wrong. It's the ability to set the ego aside and ask, what really happened here? What was my part in it? And what do I need to change? Even when you think you can't go on, when all seems lost, these situations, these crises, they pass. What remains is you and a mentality that only grows stronger, more resilient, and wiser with every crisis mastered. Defeats and failure, as paradoxical as it may sound, are among the most important things in the lives of successful people. Why? Because they teach us things that victories never could. A victory feels good, it validates us. But a defeat, if we approach it correctly, forces us to introspect. It fosters resilience, the ability to get back up after a blow, dust ourselves off, and carry on. It teaches us humility, to recognize that we are not infallible, that there is always room for improvement, and it forces us to self-reflect, the invaluable opportunity to honestly and unsparingly analyze what went wrong, which decisions were incorrect, and how to do better next time. Without this reflection, a defeat is just a painful event. With reflection, it becomes a valuable lesson. Yes, failure often feels terrible in the first moment. It's discouraging, frustrating, sometimes even shameful. But it's one of the most important catalysts for personal and professional growth. Without these experiences, without the willingness to take risks and possibly fail at times, we would learn and achieve only a fraction, if anything, of what we are capable of. We would remain in our comfort zone and never reach our true potential. Think of Thomas Edison. When developing the light bulb, he is said to have built thousands of prototypes that didn't work. When a reporter asked him how it felt to have failed so many times, Edison replied, "In essence, I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That's the attitude of a winner. Every defeat was a step closer to the solution for him. Or J.K. Rowling, the author of Harry Potter. Her manuscript was rejected by numerous publishers before it was finally accepted, and became a worldwide phenomenon. She could have given up after the 10th rejection, but she believed in her story and kept going. And here we come to the heart of the matter, to the crucial difference. Those who throw in the towel immediately after a loss, after a defeat, who give up, who allow themselves to be paralyzed by self-pity or fear, these are the ones who are often labeled as losers, or rather, who make themselves losers. They see defeat as proof of their inability. Real winners, on the other hand, they accept defeat, perhaps with anger, perhaps with disappointment, but they don't let it define them. They dissect it, they analyze it, they extract the lessons from it, and then they move on. And not just move on, but better, smarter, and stronger than before. They use the energy of defeat to make their next attempt even more powerful. This is about the concept of a growth mindset versus a fixed mindset. As described by psychologist Carol Dweck, people with a fixed mindset believe that their abilities and talents are innate and unchangeable. For them, a defeat is proof of their limitations. People with a growth mindset, however, believe that abilities can be developed through dedication and hard work. For them, defeats are opportunities to grow and learn. They understand that the brain is like a muscle that can be trained through effort. Even if the temptation seems overwhelming to just throw everything away after a defeat, to hide under the covers and curse the world, it is precisely here, in this moment of greatest disappointment, that the most important phase lies. This is where it's decided whether you emerge from this situation as a winner or a loser. It's the moment when you show character. It's the moment when you have to decide. Do you let this setback define you? Or do you use it as a springboard? The ability not only to continue after a defeat, but also to draw the right conclusions is crucial. It's not about stubbornly trying the same thing over and over again and hoping for a different outcome. That would be the definition of insanity. It's about pausing, analyzing what exactly happened. Which of my assumptions were wrong? Which of my actions did not lead to the goal? What can I do differently, better, next time? What new skills or knowledge do I need? Sometimes this means taking a step back to see the bigger picture, or seeking feedback from others who have a more objective perspective. Always remember, as the saying goes, I may have lost the battle, but I have not lost the war. A single defeat, a single setback, does not define your entire potential or the outcome of your journey. It's just an event along the way. The war, that's your overarching goal, your vision, your long-term success. And this war is won through many battles, and sometimes also through lost battles, that teach us valuable lessons for the next decisive engagements. What are your thoughts on this? Have you ever experienced a defeat that, in retrospect, turned out to be an important turning point? A valuable lesson? How do you personally deal with setbacks? Write it to us in the comments. We are curious about your stories and experiences. Don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this that inspires you and helps you unfold your full potential. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Stay strong and learn from every experience.